Alright, guys. So, for those of you who don't know, I used to run a podcast on Spotify for a very brief while. I'm talking about like a 3 day time span. Called it the Jesus Bailey Show. However, I said some things towards Elon Musk pertaining to Alex Jones. I think you guys all know what I'm talking about. But that has since been water under the bridge, so it's no more. Therefore, I'm pressing the reset button and starting all over with a brand new podcast called BNN. So it's Bailey News Network. The first episode starts today. But before I begin things, I just want to give a quick shout out to the two biggest dirtbags that I know in the entire world. Maybe not in the entire world, but anyways, two dirtbags regardless. So the first dirtbag is Conj, the second dirtbag is Sneed. So, yeah. Conj and Sneed, you guys are dirtbags. Fucking see you at work. And there's not really too much of any like specific point to this podcast. It's just me just rambling on and talking shit and giving my take on specific events and current news articles going on, such as the court cases with Trump, anything Russia related, any news you could possibly think. I have a take on. So with that being said, I'm going to go over the first article, which of course said about Trump. I shook his hand. I met him. You can see right there. I met the guy. It's on the cup. So if I have the cup, that's my proof. You know, it's crazy. I've supported Trump through and through. I even had a dream one time that it was me in the audience. Trump was on stage, and it was like a like a Great Depression type setting. Trump was on stage, and with the big curtain, the background, etc. And so Trump was on stage. He was wearing a green plaid shirt and some work pants. And in the dream, people were, they had pitchforks and torches and all that, and they were booing Trump on stage. And Trump he gave me that look like, oh, I'm sorry, I let you down. And I felt really bad for Trump. Everybody else was trying to demonize Trump. I am the only one who felt bad. But nonetheless, I support Trump through and through. If it comes out he did something wrong, they have proof of that, okay, go ahead, prosecute him, put him in jail. If he legitimately did something wrong, if he went up and shot somebody on the street, lock him up. But they can't prove anything, and this whole court thing is a sham. I'm sure everybody knows that by now. If you know how the world works, you'd understand that all this shit going on with Trump, the total hit job, political hit job, is a fraud. So that's where I stand on that. And of course you have CNN. CNN, aren't they the greatest? So they have these people on who absolutely know nothing about anything. They bring the most irrelevant people on the show to talk about Trump. It's the oldest trick in the book for CNN. Like, they brought on George Lopez, and George Lopez couldn't even keep a straight face. Like, he was like looking like a puppy dog, like he was ashamed, which he should be ashamed because he's a coward. So Chris Wallace of NBC, I'm sorry, Chris Wallace wasn't he on NBC? I don't know, but Chris Wallace of CNN at this time interviewing George Lopez. I'm gonna go ahead and play that clip.
Want to get the most out of one sheep? Grab Bounty. Bounty is made to be stronger and more absorbent. So while ordinary brands can't hold up, one sheet of Bounty keeps working even when wet. that's
Just gonna edit this part out.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
You say that after Donald Trump went after migrants coming into this country without documentation, that you felt you couldn't stay silent.
Well, I don't support undocumented people coming across the border. You know, I just cannot allow somebody to demonize a certain group of people. You know, people come from all over the world. This is America. You know, everybody used to be welcomed, and for somebody to point the light at people that I'm sure this country benefits from their work every day. I just don't think that those people should be made to feel like they're the reason America is the way that it is. I just don't think it's
as we sit here today, in 2024, what do you think of Donald Trump?
I have to say I'm surprised that somebody can be so racially out with their views targeted toward people. You know, I don't think of him much as a president, and I think less of him as a man.
And what do you make of the fact that there's a real possibility he could be reelected?
He could actually be president again. And if he is, Chris, I said I was going to leave the country the first time. Not until I pay all my taxes, I'm staying here. But I just think it's beneath what America has stood for.
So this thing with George Lopez is a total sham. I don't even know why they have George Lopez on there. But then again, it's CNN. They'll get whoever from anywhere, any irrelevant celebrity. They'll get Stephen King, whatever the fuck his name is, the fucking emo author and film writer for Children of the Corn. But anyways, George Lopez is the last one to speak on, Trump isn't a man, he's less than a man. Like, didn't George Lopez get a kidney transplant from his wife, who he then cheated on, like, right after? That's a dirtbag move right there. And it says right here on Quora, why did George Lopez divorce his wife after she gave him one of her kidneys? Well, I have the answer. The guy's a complete fucking... he's scum of the earth. Now that's not a man right there. He's a piece of shit. That's how I feel about George Lopez. And me being of Mexican descent doesn't mean I play favorites just because he's Mexican American, or because he's Mexican. I'm also Mexican of Mexican descent. So, with that being said, I think George Lopez is a coward at that. He's a blatant coward. Another coward, Rob Reiner, who says if Trump is reelected that he's going to set himself on fire. Well, you better get to it, Rob. You better get fucking to it, because you already know what's coming. Don't take back your word. That'll make you a fucking hypocrite and a liar, Rob Reiner. But then again, what do we expect out of these people? Just Trump derangement syndrome is absolutely real and strong with these people. They hate one man so bad that they'll set themselves on fire. Michael Moore. You guys know Michael Moore? He's some fat, glasses-wearing slob who's also like another Rob Reiner, who also has Trump derangement syndrome. I don't know what it is about Trump. Like, these guys just hate him so fucking bad. When we had Trump as president, we had 0 wars. Exactly 0 wars. He was the first ever president to step on North Korean soil. And now under Biden, we have like 3-4 wars. We're involved in all of them. And we're giving money to Ukraine and Israel. Like shit we have nothing to do with. To fund their fucking foreign wars. These people, both Democrat and Republican, make money off these wars. I was looking at a list yesterday. So Biden has received $100 million. Mitch McConnell around the same, 100 million, 90-something million. Nancy Pelosi, Mike Pence, Mike Pence's relative, Lindsey Graham, you name it. The people who are all calling for war with Russia are the ones who are receiving money. That's why they're calling for it. It's all a big sham. It's all a big lie. It's all WWE. At the end of the day, it's all WWE. And that's the best way I can categorize it. Is WWE. It's Triple H and Stone Cold. It's The Rock and Kurt Angle. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's just all a big psyop is what it is. And people need to wake the fuck up and they need to be upset. Because that shit is upsetting me, of course. I can feel my blood pressure going up, 147, 148, 149. But it's not about me. It's about everybody at the end of the day. I hate when people say, "Oh yeah, politics didn't affect me." Bullshit. Politics does affect you, dude. It does affect you. It'll affect you in the long run. So everybody's on the bus going to hell at this point. So speaking of Michael Moore, going back to Michael Moore. So Michael Moore, he has a Rumble account. Who the fuck let Michael Moore have a Rumble account? Who subscribes to Michael Moore and his Rumble account? I will go to Michael Moore's Rumble account and troll the fuck out of Michael Moore. Fucking fat, weak blob that Michael Moore is. Michael Moore, sorry. Gives a shit about this motherfucker. So on an episode of his podcast on Rumble, Michael Moore said that this is not about the people's right to own a gun, but the right of all of us to be protected from gun violence. He mentioned the Uvalde shooting in his documentary about gun violence in Bowling for Columbine in 2002. And he pushed people to get a dog as opposed to a gun. He said, "Oh, people don't need guns. You don't need a gun. If you're afraid of somebody breaking in, get a dog." That is the most stupid shit I've heard in my life. Somebody's going to break in, they're going to have a gun. Your dog's going to show up, they're going to shoot your fucking dog. And then what, Michael Moore? You're fucking screwed. The idiocracy of these people, man. Idiots like Michael Moore and Stephen King and George Lopez and Robert De Niro. And I actually used to like Robert De Niro in his films. But over time, he started getting political, and he started, getting all political and anti-Trump, and he might be getting paid for that, I don't know. But then again, he might have been on the Epstein Island list. So there's that. And Trump was going to prosecute all of them and throw them all in jail. So that's why they want to stop him. Trump is waging war. He's waging war on the Satanists pedophiles that control the world, essentially, the shadow government. You know who else is waging war on the shadow government pedophiles? Putin. Putin attacks the West as satanic, hails Russian traditional values. What do I think about that? Obviously, people are going to get upset with me, call me a Putin sympathizer, Russian sympathizer, Russian bot. Obviously, I'm not. I'm not saying Putin's the best or Putin's necessarily good, but Putin realizes there's a bigger enemy. So he realizes that there are satanic pedophiles, bankers that control everything. BlackRock, Vanguard, Klaus Schwab, the Nazi brigade that's hidden in certain aspects of the United States government, as well as Ukraine, who are at the doorstep of Russia. So Russia's just playing defense in a way, in my opinion. That's just my personal take. Take it how you want to. But I think there are bigger evils in the world than Vladimir Putin. So he called the West satanic and rejected moral norms, meaning Russia doesn't want to be LGBT, they don't want to be BLM, they don't want all this Western shit, this cuckness, this defund the police being shoved down their throat. They just want to be Russian. And I totally respect that 100%. So, Vladimir Putin, speaking of satanic pedophiles, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the influencers or podcasters, YouTubers, whatever you want to call them. Vitali, or whatever the guy's name is. Probably butchered it. I don't know. And then Bradley Martin. They're both like, big guys. They hit the gym, etc. So these guys started a pedophile catching series, like many others have done so. CC Unit. But the thing about CC Unit is he came out on a podcast of a pedophile, meaning Adam 22. Anyways, Bradley Martin and Vitali, they go live and they catch a man by the name of Herschel Weingrod. So Herschel Weingrod obviously got caught, so he's a pedophile. But Herschel Weingrod is, I guess you can say, part of the elites. And he told Bradley Martin, "Oh, I was just going for some pizza." And I see in the video, Bradley Martin acts a little funny. He gets a text message on his phone. All of a sudden, he wants to leave without telling anyone. Like, he was legitimately nervous. So Herschel Allen Weingrod is an American screenwriter. He has written and co-written a number of Hollywood blockbusters, including Trading Places, Twins, Kindergarten Cop, and Space Jam. So he has some influence. I don't know if you can consider him elite. I don't know the guy's net worth. I actually have never heard of the guy before seeing this video of Vitali and Bradley catching him. But from what I understand, he is part of that elite class. And you could see the adrenochrome in his eyes. He just looks like he's drinking baby's blood. Let's see here. Herschel Weingrod net worth. It's around $3 million, okay, which he earned by writing, directing, and producing many films. But why is it that all these like film writers and directors and producers are all creeps? They're all pedophile creeps or weirdos or whatever the case may be. They are sick, twisted human beings. Like there are people that I personally would want to deal with them a certain way. And I think that happened to one of Vitali's catches on his stream. And so he got canceled by Kick or whoever the streaming service was. They decided to cancel him because he showed violence on his platform. Well, it's not his fault that the citizen, the random guy on the street, decided to punch the hell out of the fucking pedophile. It's not his fucking problem. And I don't understand why they're canceling him for it. Like, there's no other reason. He just, like, it wasn't even him. It's just probably one punch and he laid the guy out. Like, people should be happy, which they are happy. If you look at the comment section, people are like, "Oh yeah, give that guy a medal. He did a good job." He wants to do what everyone else wants to do. He wants to do what I want to do. He wants to do what Vitali and Bradley Martin probably want to do. But of course, they're gonna play their part, and who knows where it goes from there. I think Bradley Martin is more susceptible to cucking and just giving in, whereas Vitali, he doesn't want to give in. But who knows? Who knows nowadays? The world is very weird. We don't even know what's real anymore. Pigeons could be cameras for all we know. I mean, that's why I always say the birds are watching. At the end of the day, the birds are watching. Like, I could talk about anything in the world. Oh, look, there goes a pigeon right there. So they're already listening in. Flies, the same thing. The flies can also have cameras in them or microphones. Who fucking knows? I don't fucking know, but we're going to get to the bottom of it one of these days, and shit is really going to hit the fan, and people are going to wake up. Just the awakening cannot happen soon enough. So guys, I just want to take the time real quick to promote my custom-made mugs. So this is a picture of me. This is a real picture of me. This is not the Japanese Prime Minister, the former Japanese president's body, and my face photoshopped on there. This is actually me shaking hands with President Trump. So anyways, if you want a custom mug you can go ahead and hit me up on my TikTok page. You can send me a direct message. That's TikTok at Healthy to Complain. It's all one word. Healthy to Complain. And this has been the official first episode of BNN. BNN, that's the Bailey News Network, and I will see you guys next time.